We're going to start out with Harbinger Theater, which is going to be performing at the Albany Barn, and they've got a play called The Christians, and I have Aileen Burke here, and she's and what is you're the producer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the producer of it. And along with that, you brought Rob Weber with you, and he's a music director. So is this a musical?
It is not. It is
Okay.
a play that features a choir. I believe the choir has...
Oh, so you're the choir master.
The choir director.
Okay, good.
Yes, the choir is its own character, pretty much. It definitely adds a richness to what we're doing, but it is a play.
Okay, so tell me, the title is very intriguing, The Christians. What does that, I mean, are they going to be burned at the stake? Are they thrown to the lions? What's going on?
No, so The Christians is the story, essentially, of a pastor, Pastor Paul, who decides he wants to take his congregation in this new direction.
A new direction.
Yes, and he...
And this is in fiction because they obviously do that now.
right.
We're doing that.
So, some sort of historical fiction, right? So it's not a real church, but
Yeah.
it feels like a very real life situation with real life stakes and consequences, and that's ultimately what it becomes. It's a very human examination of the choices of this pastor and everything that happens after he makes his stand, pretty much.
Now, is this, would you call this, well, since you have a choir, so where'd you get your choir?
I have formed the choir, and we've been rehearsing as sort of a separate entity from the cast of the play because they're not really part of the play.
They're not part of that, and they don't have to learn lines.
Right, exactly. They're not cast members, they are the choir. And so I've, over recent months, and when I've approached people about being part of this group, the number one thing people keep saying to me is, oh, I've always wanted to be in a choir.
Oh, really?
It's the
Oh,
number
cool.
one thing that everyone says to me. So everyone's really been enjoying our rehearsal process, just singing the songs, the hymns that are in the play. There's 4 hymns that we sing. Two
Okay,
of
and
them
they're real hymns.
real hymns.
Okay.
And it was interesting that in the author's notes at the beginning of the play, he talks about these 4 hymns, and he says you can use other choices if you want, but I chose to use the ones that were written by the author in the play.
And that's what you chose, of course.
That's what I chose, and they're all actually very well known.
What are they? Can you tell us, or is this supposed to be a surprise?
This part isn't really a surprise.
Okay.
One is called I Feel Like Traveling On, which
Okay.
is a gospel hymn that has been done by every possible genre you can think of, from Elvis to more modern singers done in movies.
Okay.
One is called Hold to God's Unchanging Hand,
Okay.
and another is called Farther Along, which is a very famous hymn.
Okay.
And then one of our big rousing ones is called Catch on Fire, where we have one soloist who sings with kind of a response and answer.
A gospel type, yeah.
With the choir.
Now, is this the first time that you've directed a choir, or is this your avocation, or your...
Yes, it's
Career.
my avocation. I've done a lot of musical directing over the
Okay.
years in actual musicals. I have a vocal studio here in Albany, Rob Weber's vocal studio,
Okay.
and I teach people singing.
Oh, okay.
And I have showcases with my students that are several times a year at the Albany Barn as well.
So you were a good match for Patrick.
I was, and I'm an local actor as well, so I originally met Patrick doing Our Town at Albany Civic Theater about
Yeah,
10 years
yeah.
ago, and we became friends, and when I opened my studio, I very much was inspired by him with his acting class. So we've worked together as actors. He's been a director. I've been in plays that he's directed. True West I was in that he directed. And so when he approached me about this, it was a very exciting opportunity to work with him. I've done a lot of musicals over the years, but I've never done anything that wasn't a musical, but it had all
Oh, that's
this
really cool.
singing.
Yeah. So, and Aileen, how did you pick this? Or did you pick it?
So what's very
Or
exciting...
did Patrick pick it?
Patrick kind of picked this in a collaborative fashion. So what's exciting about Harbinger and what we're trying to do is bring the region some new theater that
Yeah.
they haven't seen before.
Right.
New authors, new titles, new concepts to think
Like
about.
he did Men in Boats with all women?
Exactly. Yes,
I love that.
Yes, Men on Boats. It was wonderful. But from those experiences, right? So Men on Boats was through the acting class, and that's kind of how Harbinger has come to be. And this play was selected for that reason, Lucas Nath is a wonderful,
I know, he's
wonderful
done, this
playwright.
isn't the first play he's done by, or Patrick's done by him.
No, he recently just
Yeah.
did Death Tax.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was very well received, I think, in part to the writing, but this is just another one of kind of like a running list of these wonderful, wonderful productions that this area hasn't seen.
He has a
So-
talent to find them.
Yes.
I mean, like you
absolutely.
said, all I do is read plays, and I believe that,
Yeah,
because, yeah.
A definite dedication. So that's kind of, it was like a little bit of a list, and this one felt right, so just kind of went with it, and
That-
so far, so good.
That's great. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Rob, for being here to
Thank
talk
you.
about your music, and it should be a rousing addition to the play, I'm
Thank you
sure.
very
Yeah,
much. It's a
thank you
lot
for
of fun.
being here, yeah.
Thank you.
Curiosity, if you're looking for a little trivia, I taught with Patrick's dad
Oh, I love
at the
it.
College of Pharmacy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, is
Oh,
that something? Yeah, his dad was a pharmacist.
That's wonderful trivia.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Little trivia there, yeah, cool. So, hey, it's good to see you again, Dennis.
Hi, Ann.
Been
Great
a
to
while
see you
since you've
too.
been on the
Yes,
show,
it has
yeah.
been a while, yes.
And so are you in the play, obviously?
Yes, I am.
And what part are you playing?
I play Pastor Paul.
You're Pastor Paul. You're the
Pastor
guy that kind of goes off into a new direction?
Yeah, I try to take my congregation with me. Yep.
Yeah, where are you going with it? I mean, where are you going with that congregation?
Well, it's just a different set of beliefs that I have, and I'm trying to, preach to the congregation because they pretty much hinge on every word I say. And
Oh, you're very charismatic then.
very charismatic. That's right.
And you
try to
like
be.
that part, huh?
I do love that part, yes. I figure it wasn't much of a stretch. I hope anyway. But, yeah, it's just, he realizes that the Bible doesn't really, it says something that's not really true. And he's trying to convey this to the congregation. And with some success and some short of success. And it's about the disagreements that come up within the church, within his congregation, and it's just a number of disagreements that are, it's back and forth.
Got a lot of convincing to do, you mean?
A lot of convincing to do. This is
Yeah,
true.
yeah. So you like the part?
I love the part. This is, it's the biggest role I've ever had to take on.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah.
a big challenge. But I like it because it's a very thought-provoking piece. It's a type of play where people will leave there and probably be talking about it
You
on
know,
the way home and for hours after.
I've got to say that when my husband and I used to go to the plays and stuff, we always felt that if we were talking about it on the way home, it was a successful play. Whether, there's always something that he saw in it that I didn't, or I saw and he didn't, and then we would kind of kick it around, and I love that.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a play that's for believers and non-believers both. I mean, I think both can embrace what
Sure,
it is.
sure.
And it is actually a church service in a theatrical format.
Is that right?
So, and that's how it's being presented. So, as an audience member,
Do you pass the hat?
well, I don't want to give away any little secrets, but I'm imagining as an audience member that you
You
probably are
have the
going to
thing going
feel-
down the aisle there.
Yes, yes. I think as an audience member, you're going to feel like you're at church, you're at a
Okay,
service.
okay, good. Yeah, you go out feeling a little holier, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe there'll be a hole in your pocket, too.
That's true. That's true.
That's good. So when will we see this play, and how does, when?
Okay, so the first 2 weekends in December.
Okay.
I believe all at 7:30, correct?
Yep, 7:30 start. The official first show is December 2nd, but there's a preview on December 1st.
Pay what you will.
Then
Oh,
it
nice.
runs the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and the 9th, 10th, and 11th
And this is at the Albany Barn.
at the Albany Barn.
And where is that located?
Just up from Tenbrook Manor,
Okay,
Second Avenue?
2nd Avenue.
Yep.
Yep.
okay, in
It
that area.
runs parallel to Clinton Avenue.
Yeah. Well, Pastor Paul, I hope that you have a good congregation that night, at each night, and you
I
have,
hope
and you have a few people throwing a few pennies into the pot. So
I'm
that would be
hoping.
great.
I'm hoping it's even more than that.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you,
Dennis.
ma'am.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank
I
you
know
very
you've
much.
been in very many productions, and I'm glad to hear that this is your biggest one yet.
Yeah,
So,
I can't wait. I'm
yeah,
excited.
good, good.
Thank you, Ann.
Aileen, so are you in Patrick's class? Is that it? Is that how that works? And that you can become a producer or you can become an actor?
Yes, so I took class with Patrick earlier this year, and then as kind of Harbinger was starting, and we knew we were doing this show, he approached me about producing, and we talked about forming a creative team. And,
Nice.
And yeah, it's a wonderful experience. I haven't done anything like it, and for myself personally, I moved here from Pennsylvania, and the theater scene here is just so wonderful.
It's huge,
So
isn't it? I've
immense.
had people that leave this area and think they're going into another area like this, and there aren't.
No.
It isn't there.
Absolutely not. So, but just this is how I could start,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To kind of look at all of these possibilities
Yeah.
and find a place. So, yes, yeah, you can come in as an actor, a student trying to learn, and then, you know, the possibilities are endless. Student assistant directors and stage managers and the whole nine.
Well,
So,
whatever you do, you have to have people behind the scenes that are they're working along with you.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
yes.
So I do want to thank you for being here and for
Thank you.
working with Patrick. He's wonderful to work with.
I agree.
Yeah,
Thank you
he's
so
an
much.
amazing man, and him and Chris Foster both are amazing working together in the theater scene. I get his Christmas letter, and he's seen, 85 productions or 234 productions this year, and it's like, wow, whoa.
Always a tremendous number, absolutely.
I know, and they've read so many plays, and it's like, oh my gosh. He's in total immersion, but that's what makes him so great, and a great director and teacher as well.
Dedication.
Thanks, Aileen, and break a leg.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
good.